All right, good morning. We are here today on September 10th, 2024. It is 9 o'clock in the morning. Today is our regularly scheduled Commissioners Court meeting for Karnes County. We have a quorum present. Let's stand for prayer and pledge, and we'll get started. Lord, we come before you now. We thank you so much for this day. We thank you for the cooler weather that you brought and growing grass and the rain that you provided for us in this country. Lord, we pray that you will be over us and help us make wise decisions and decisions that glorify you in every aspect of our life. We ask this in your name. Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag and to the republic for which and
Okay. Item number 5 is citizens to be heard. Do we have anybody signed up to speak this morning, Mrs. Sweezy? All right, Mrs. Patton.
Full disclosure, I look a little scary today, but I ran into a door. So I'm a little swollen, a little bruised, but it's okay. The door is fine. First, I would like to say that I really appreciate the commissioners and the judge that look at the person who has come up here to speak and acknowledge that they're standing here before you. And they don't constantly look down and act like they're taking notes or not even acknowledge your presence. I really do appreciate that. I regret that I was not able to be at the budget workshop a few weeks ago, but I wasn't. And I would have been somewhat more informed about what went on, but I did print a copy of the budget after it was available online. And so I wasn't completely in the dark about the increases in salary almost across the board. But the meeting Thursday night, I learned something that astounded me. And we all know that there's no point really of airing a grievance on that night that you're going to vote because it's already been decided and there's not anything that's really going to change. I remember a public forum from a couple of years ago discussing that a lot of taxpayers were in favor of an increase in pay. And some of those taxpayers who were ex-commissioners said that they do believe this is a full-time job for commissioners. No offense, but I don't think it's a full-time job. It is a job, and I'm not saying that it's not work, but there are 2 courts that you have to come to a month that last less than 4 hours. You're given reports to read before it to be familiar with what's going on. There's a lot that goes into it. I'm not discounting that or making light of that in any way. And I listen to the reports that y'all give at the end of the meeting. You talk to taxpayers about roads, you look at roads, you meet with the road commissioner, you go to meetings. I have no doubt that you've answered a phone of the night, but I'll restrain myself from challenging you to how many you've answered in a given period of time as to how many I've answered in a given period of time. The county employees that I see in the clerk's office, EMS, maintenance offices, those that come in 8 to 5 and work 5 days a week, those are full-time jobs, no doubt. But the commissioner's position, I don't see anybody clocking in. And not that you'd have to clock in. I can't say how many hours you spend. But there's nobody watching really what goes on. And just because a person says something over and over and over again doesn't make it true. Just listen to any politician running for office right now. Just because they say it doesn't mean it's true, but they think people will start believing it. Teachers hold full-time jobs. They average from 7 in the morning till 4 or 5 in the afternoon, 5 days a week. They grade papers, they plan lessons at home and at night and on weekends. The average teacher pay in the county is less than $60,000. Maybe 53 for a starting teacher, maybe 58. I might be wrong, somebody can correct me on that. I'll bet those teachers would like to go to the school board every year or two and tell the school board that they need a $10,000 increase in salary because, okay.
Thank you, Ms.
Anyway,
Patton.
thank you.
Any others signed up? One more. Tommy?
Good morning, gentlemen. I appreciate y'all. And Miss Patton, you said way more than I could ever say about it. I appreciate you saying that. A lot quicker than me, a lot calmer too. Well, here part of what I'm going to bring up is the pictures I gave the judge and I gave the county attorney wherever she's at. I don't see her. I'm looking forward to getting a formal type of answer on what I handed her in those pictures. You know, the raises, I'd like to see y'all do more work. But I ain't gonna say anything. Miss Patton took care of my number 2 here. I'll tell you what I'd like to see. I'd like to see something like Trump and Elon are talking about. Everybody seems to like them a lot. Efficiency committee. I'd like to see this county have an efficiency committee. And I'm gonna tell you why. We'll keep y'all, the only efficiency committee we have for y'all is our vote. And I've only ever seen one commissioner come to the house in town when I was living there, and that's Mr. Yar. Other than that, I'm sure y'all make your rounds to your buddies and your beer drinking buddies or whatever. I see a couple of y'all out there with them. I'd like to see that. Now I'm going to read you something real quick because I don't have much time left. First Amendment rights, we got 5 things that it covers: religion, press, and assembly. But freedom of speech, Congress cannot restrict an individual's right to speak freely. The 5th one, right to petition. Citizens have the right to petition the government for redress of grievances. Okay? Now I'm going to read you something else. And I don't have much time, so I'm going to talk real fast like Ms. Patton did. A form of government characterized by the deviation of political rulers from commonly accepted standards of moral and political behavior, or by the legitimate title to the exercise of power of the persons who actually rule. Encyclopedia.com. That's tyranny. Okay, I'm going to read you another one. And don't take this personal, guys. A person who lacks the courage to do or endures dangerous or unpleasant things. That's a noun, the noun part of it. The adjective, literally excessively afraid of danger or pain. Coward. That's the definition of coward. I'm not saying y'all are cowards. I think y'all worry about your family and you take care of everything you need. But I don't get the impression that y'all feel like dealing with us. Y'all say the Pledge of Allegiance and you say prayers. What about everybody that's paid the price for that? And I don't just mean military. I mean farmers, ranchers, everybody that's stuck together around here. Y'all, you got your boot on our neck. And it ain't right. So in my opinion, y'all need to take a serious look.
Thank you, Mr. Shockey.
Yes, sir.
Any others signed up to speak this morning? All right, item number 6, acknowledge that Camino Real is going to present the proclamation declaring September as the Suicide Awareness Month. Doris, got the crew here with you?
I'm missing a few, and I have new crew, some new crew, but I'm missing a few, so. Good morning, Judge and Commissioners. Thank you for having us here. We are from Camino Real. We are the local mental authority, and you know how it's so important that we continue talking about and promoting and educating on mental health. So thank you for having us here to present the proclamation for Suicide Prevention Awareness Month. Judge Hudke, would you like to read, or you want me to read?
You tell me. You want me to read it or you want to read it?
I'll read it.
You go ahead
Yeah,
and read
okay.
it.
I'll go ahead and start. Whereas September marks Suicide Prevention Month, a time to remember the lives lost to suicide, the millions who have struggled with suicide thoughts, and the individuals, families, and communities that have been impacted. And whereas during the month of September, the national suicide rate is approximately 15.5 per 100,000 population, reflecting a continued need for strengthened mental health services, public awareness, and prevention strategies across our county and nation. Whereas 2024 in the United States, one person dies from suicide every 11 minutes, resulting in 136 deaths by suicide each day. Whereas Texas suicide attempt rate for high school students is higher than the national rate. Whereas the past year has presented our communities with challenges and led to transitions that, expected or unexpected, welcomed or not, can be unsettling, disorienting, and stressful. And whereas this is a time in which individuals, organizations, and communities around the country join their voices to amplify the message that suicide can be prevented. Whereas knowing the signs of suicide, finding the words to communicate with someone they are concerned about, and reaching out to our local resources. And whereas we know that connecting, working with, and supporting one another can help prepare us for the future. And whereas all Texans are urged to play a role in suicide prevention and promote mental health and wellness as we strive towards zero suicides. And whereas the month of September is recognized across the United States as Suicide Prevention Awareness Month and provides the opportunity to educate our community about the warning signs for suicide and how to reach out and connect to those experiencing an emotional crisis.
Now therefore be it proclaimed by the Karnes County Commissioners Court, myself, the judge, and all members of the Karnes County Commissioners Court on this 10th day of September 2024, that the month of September be declared Suicide Prevention and Awareness Month.
Thank you.
You want to sign it? I'll sign it, and you want to come up for a picture?
Sure, yes.
Come on up. Brought goodies too.
Good.
Thank you. Ladies. Okay.
Okay.
I feel that. Okay, item number 7, acknowledge to adopt the 2024 overall tax rate for Karnes County, Texas, local government code 111.008B. Tammy?
Good morning. How's everybody today?
Good.
We need to acknowledge and adopt the overall 2024 tax rate. The 2024 overall tax rate is the exact same amount as it was for 2023, which is 0.234499.
Any questions from the court? We need to adopt this, so let's have some action on it.
I move that we adopt, acknowledging adoption of 2024 overall tax rate for Karnes County, Texas, local government code 11-008.
Okay, I've got a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. Anybody opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Tammy. Item number 8, discuss/take possible action, the adoption of the 2024 general fund maintenance and operating tax rate. Tammy?
Now that we have the overall tax rate, we need to break it down into what's going to be in the general fund and what's going to be in the road and bridge. What we had discussed earlier was putting that 0.200323 in the general fund.
Yes.
So it's 0.200323.
I'll second.
Okay, we've got a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. Anybody opposed? Motion carries. And item number 9, acknowledge that Karnes County has 0 debt obligations for 2024. Therefore, there is no general fund and interest sinking tax rate.
Yes, we just have to publicly acknowledge that the county has no debt. That is what that line
Yeah.
item is for.
And we do not yet. Item number 10, discuss/take possible action, the adoption of the 2024 Road and Bridge Special Maintenance and Operating Tax Rate. Tammy?
And the rest of that overall tax rate, we need to have that part put into the road and bridge account. So we just need that to be formally done, so that the .200323 plus the .034176 will come to the overall,
Those are the pennies.
what, sir?
Those are the pennies.
The pennies, .034176.
Yes.
Goes into the road and bridge. So those two figures added together will equal the total overall tax rate of that .234499.
Right.
I'll make the motion to adopt the 2024 Road and Bridge Special 0.034176 per $100 valuation for a total adopted tax rate for Karnes County tax year 2024, 0.234499.
I'll second.
Okay, we've got a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. Anybody opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Tammy.
Right.
Item number 11, acknowledge bond renewals for Beth Montalvo, Elections Administrator, and Casey Ebram, EMS Captain. New bond for Jennifer Tapia, who is our Karnes County Attorney, and Judge Hedke to sign the bond, and it will be filed with the County Clerk's Office. Bonnie?
Good morning, Court, Judge. I do want to say, sorry, I typed up Casey's title wrong. It is EMS Chief, not Captain, so I apologize for that, Casey. But basically, yes, just acknowledging the renewals, the annual renewals for our Elections Administrator, Beth, and Casey Ebram, our EMS Chief. Ms. Carroll already has the renewal bond, the continuance for Casey, so she will file that in the County Clerk's Office. She also has Ms. Tapia, since Mr. Chapman retired. And Judge, you'll just need to sign that, and we can do that after court, and then Ms. Carroll will file that.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Item number 12 is discuss, approve, disapprove Texas Association of Counties TAC representatives to share TAC insurance proposal and details. Acrisure representatives to share insurance proposals and details. All right, gentlemen.
We've got
ladies.
from TAC, Clarissa Martinez Messenger and Brian Nizer, and then from Acrisure, Virginia Beebe and Jess Williams.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. This is kind of a continued conversation on our health insurance program and benefits ancillary. I want to say a couple things, just one in regard to customer satisfaction in a healthcare program. And I think that's so paramount here because our number one asset, of course, in any organization are their employees. And how they feel about their plan is so important. So, you know, we need to work on budgets, of course, and pricing is so paramount. But at the end of the day is how is the plan being utilized and how do people feel about their plan? And quite frankly, after some investigation and some real communication with employees, we have found that there is some dissatisfaction with the United program. And we hate that because we represent United and, you know, depends on the area. Sometimes it's better received than others. But I have a long history with Blue Cross Blue Shield. Virginia can attest that, you know, we probably are largest carrier that we represent as an agency. And we love Blue Cross Blue Shield. The beauty about collaborating and communication is the Texas Association of Counties does work with brokers, and we were able to communicate. And we are recommending after researching the availability to this county to go with TAC, and I think it's very good news because we had moved to a 1/1 effective date, and budgetary reasons, we need to stay with the 10/1 effective date, so TAC has agreed to the 1/1 rates that were presented to keep those. And they have also will do a short plan year, and you'll be able to go back to a 10/1. The other nice thing about that is they can reset that to have a 10/1 effective date for the calendar year. So people won't have to worry. It'll be a plan year deductible instead of a calendar year deductible. So it's a win-win all the way around. I'm excited about being able to have Blue Cross here. Blue Cross tends to be the favorite with hospitals and doctors because they generally don't ask questions and they say yes to things, which ends up being a more pleased consumer. So that's what I recommend. I think it's a good decision. And quite frankly, I will continue to keep a better heartbeat and listening to if there is any problems with the program and plan itself.
Sorry, guys, another point of interest. In addition to recommending TAC for the medical plan, I'd also like to recommend that you stick with Guardian on all your other ancillaries. Once again, you have a rate pass, so there's no increase, no change in those plans. So they've got continuity of plan, continuity of providers. So.
And that's not going to affect our partnership with TAC through this one with the Guardian? Good. Good. I'm excited about this. I'm so happy that Jess and Clarissa and Brian all work together really to benefit our employees. I know that that's what this is all about at the end of the day. I've heard that a couple of folks out there were saying that myself and our previous HR director were trying to get rid of Jess. I don't know where that came from. Jess is a lifelong friend of mine and will continue to be a lifelong friend of mine, and I'm very excited about our partnership with TAC and working with Jess and Virginia and Acrisure going forward. I believe this is going to be a huge benefit to our taxpayers. I mean, and not our taxpayers, but our employees. So super
Yeah,
excited about
absolutely.
this.
I think it's going to be a great partnership, and we're definitely, Chris and I are looking forward to learning from each other a few additional details that I think are really going to benefit the county.
One other comment I'll make, and Brian was very instrumental in this, is he was able to lower dependent rates. So another win.
Speak to that. The family tier, so employee plus spouse and children or child, we did reduce those rates from the previous proposed rates that were presented on the 27th by 15%. So it allows, employees to either add families or give them that option to do so coming this plan year. So.
Going forward, what do we want to do as far as taking action on adopting actual numbers? Do we want to come back and present numbers? Jess, Brian, Clarissa?
We do have the numbers. It's the numbers that you had before.
Okay.
They were 10% over current. Brian, would you like to talk?
We
Okay.
have budgeted for a 10% variance going forward.
Clarissa's got the rates,
Okay.
so you can look at the rates right now and adopt that
Okay.
here.
Okay.
And this will be for a 1/1, a prorated,
It would be effective 1/1 of 25.
And then we'll go
Prorated
1/1.
benefits on your deductible and out-of-pockets for 9 months with a renewal on 10/1 of
10/1.
25, and that renewal will sync up with the benefits. Those rates for that 10/1 anniversary date and alignment of your benefits is a 5% increase over your current rate.
good, less than 10, so
I'll
that's
let
good.
You can find those rates on page number 22 of your packet. We did closely align the benefit plan design as well. There are some richer benefits as well, but we still will have that base plan and buy-up plan. Again, that's on page 22 of your packet. And along with prorating on a 10-1 basis for the next plan year, we are going to prorate that deductible and the out-of-pocket to better align with those 9 months as well. So that is something to keep in mind. There will be a small proration on the deductible and the out-of-pocket.
Commissioners, y'all have any questions, comments?
Yeah, Judge, I have a question for you. If voted on today on these rates, this locks the county only from January to September 2025. And then it starts out new, or does this lock us in on 9 months and then an additional year?
So this would be effective until 10/1 of 2025. So these specific rates are until that date. We would then send out a renewal around the May timeframe of this coming year. And then that would be the option for the Commissioners Court to renew with with us.
Gotcha. Okay. So it's optional.
And there is a rate cap.
Yeah, and I do want to mention, thank you. We are placing a renewal cap for plan year 2026. So we're moving into plan year 2025. Plan year 2026, you'll see in the fine print, we are capping that at a 9.9%. I will tell you that this past year, the renewal average for the pool was a 4.6%. So traditionally, you probably won't see a 9.9%, but if, for some reason times get hard, that's the most that you will see on your renewal for plan year 2026. Questions?
That's all I have.
Virginia, Jess?
Well, I actually have a question. So are you guys actually working together now?
Yes.
Okay, so y'all combined?
Yes.
Okay.
So if I may, guys, what this did is it really gave us an opportunity. It extended the market. And by doing that, those that we did look at, and we did look at the market, by the way. You had several decline to quote. But this is going to allow you the best of both worlds. This gives us an opportunity to bring TAC in, to be a part of that pool, to work together. We'll still be your broker. TAC is no different than any other carrier partner that we might work with, but they're going to bring to the table some other attributes that you might not otherwise have with a carrier. They've got that relationship on the county level, of course. And so with a partnership like this, you're not working against each other. And so now what we're doing is we're working for the county. We'll be putting our heads together, of course, on all of the different types of programs. You've got HRA programs that we'll need to consider, and we'll make sure those things work. You've got terms and ad programs. We need to make sure those work. These are all pieces that are behind the scene, but now we can work together as a team and make sure that nothing falls through the cracks.
Yeah.
You're getting the better rate. I can guarantee that for sure today in our recommendation because we've tested that market. So the rate they've come in with, excuse me, sorry, it's football season, that's it, laryngitis instantly. And so what they've done is they've brought to you an opportunity to rate cap, which is good. That's good for business. That gives you that no more than. But like Clarissa said, it's rare that we ever see somebody hit that rate cap.
Yeah.
Very rare. You'd have to be having some pretty significant claims going on at that point in time. And before that happens, we as a team are going to come in and start talking about, hey, where are you mid-year? So that gives you a better idea, no surprise attacks. Anyway, just thought I'd add that.
Very excited about this. Very, very excited about this. And thank you, Jess and Clarissa and Brian, for working together.
Thank y'all very much.
I do believe that there's been some relationships repaired. And so I'm excited about that. And I believe that this is not only going to benefit our folks, but I believe it's going to help Acrisure going forward, being able to talk to other counties and being able to offer TAC as, hey, this is a legitimate player here in the game. So super excited about this. Any other questions?
No, sir.
Anybody want to make a
I
motion?
will give it my best shot, Judge. I'll make the motion to approve Texas Association of Counties TAC,
Representative?
the representatives to share TAC insurance proposal in detail. Hold on, let me see. I'll make the motion to approve Texas Association of Counties Tax, TAC. Do I have to say that?
Say this for their insurance proposal for,
For their insurance proposal presented today, and I believe they're gonna be working along with Jess.
it'll be for a calendar, a prorated 9-month program, and then we will renew 10/1 of next year.
Yes, it'll be for prorated from January the 1st, 2025 to September the 30th, 2025.
Correct.
9 months. Okay. See, I did the best.
I'll second it.
Mrs. Sweezy, you got that?
Sorry about that, guys.
That isn't me.
I knew it was gonna be a tough one.
We do have a motion and a second on the table. All those in favor, please signify by raising your right hand. Anybody opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Item number 13, I believe, discuss, approve, disapprove interlocal cooperative agreement for the cost sharing of legislative consulting services between the County of Karnes and the County of DeWitt. For those that aren't aware of what this is, Karnes County, DeWitt County, Gonzales County, and Brio, I think. There's 4 counties that we work with a legislative consultant, a lobbyist. I think our share is, I think we pay, what, $7,500 a quarter? I believe is the breakdown on that. But what this does is this allows, and if you pay attention to what goes on in the legislature and the state government, there are some folks that are trying to silence rural counties. And it's Senate Bill 2, I believe, that Mays Middleton is really coming after rural counties. And this gives us a voice in the legislature to where I can't be in Austin during the whole legislative session. I know that the commissioners can't be in Austin the whole legislative session. This allows us to have a voice and to keep us informed on what's actually going on that dramatically affects, especially us rural counties. So this is just a partnership. The partnership is with Holtzhauser and Associates. Our legislative consulting services for $90,000, which is payable in monthly installments of $7,500 per month, effective October 1, 2024.
Judge, I'll make the motion to approve item number 13 as presented.
I'll second it.
Okay, we've got a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. Anybody opposed? Motion carries. Item number 14, discuss/take possible action eliminating a site restriction on County Road 319. Commissioner Geisler and Wayne Geisler.
So, engineer's out sick today, informed me this morning, but this is concerning County Road 319, Judge and Commissioners. It does a pretty violent S-curve at one point, and I've had one in particular constituent that's called me and voiced quite a bit of concern. He's got property out there. That initiated me going out, looking at the site, and while I was out there, he actually met me on location, and we were in the road talking, and off the side of the road talking, and another car passed us by, an 18-wheeler came barreling around the curve, and it wasn't a near miss, but it was pretty close. And so there's a lot of trees, a lot of brush that's grown up on this curve, and you really can't see what's coming. There's right at the moment, 2 rigs that are going up out there working, so there's a lot of extra oil field traffic, not to mention other constituents that have farming, ranching operations out there. So it prompted me to reach out, I do believe initially to Ms. Tapia, to try to get the okay. I think I did that early on. And then got with the Road and Bridges engineer. we met the landowners out there, got them to agree that we could go in and clear this site restriction on this road. The road is paved, but it doesn't have adequate drainage. It was one of the very first roads that the engineer came into and inherited, project that was going on. But they haven't, the Road and Bridges Department has intent to go back out and take care of the drainage on that location. But they agreed to do that, to allow us the ease to go in there. And in the meantime of all that, I've had probably additional 4 separate constituents call in and complain about that same exact location. So it's an issue. There's black marks where trucks have slammed on the brakes, where there's doubles and singles. So there's a lot of people out there that are probably not too safe right now with that. Road and Bridges has gone up and put signage. They've done everything they can on this particular corner, but it's something that I feel we need to address. And so there were some preliminary numbers run. It would cost about $7,900 to go in and completely clean that corner off, and to come back up and reconstruct the fencing that's there to protect the landowner's interest on that end, which normally is not something that we would do, but in this particular case, it will alleviate a pretty hazardous area. It's approximately 300 foot of roadway there that this would be taking place on.
My concern, if the commissioners, my concern is if you start doing this for landowners, you do it for one, you're gonna have to do it for all. And that's on the taxpayer's dime. You know, I acknowledge, I have not been out there to look at this site. I trust that Commissioner Geisler is correct in saying that it's a safety, a potential safety hazard, but and I told Commissioner Geisler this whenever we talked about it.
Sure, yeah.
Last week. You're opening up the potential for, we're gonna get in the brush clearing business and fence building business for landowners.
Judge?
Yeah.
I understand the concern here for the safety, and every year it changes, but I've just, in the past, we've gone, Road and Bridge has gone into some areas like this in the safety, and we've gone in there, and the county, they give us a 20-foot buffer, basically, to work on each side. Like, if you got a 40-foot road, we can go in past on the owner's property, 20 foot, because when we used to do roads 15, 20 years ago, and this has changed, I haven't checked, Judge, but there was a 20-foot buffer that we could go in there and we can clean it out legally. But my problem with this, I agree with the judge, is the fence on it, of removing the fence. Usually when I went in there and I cleaned sites like that were safety issues, I always tell the landowner, go ahead and y'all remove the fence, remove the wires, take out your poles and all. You can leave the poles if they're wooden. If they're metal, I require them to take it out. That way they wouldn't damage our equipment. Once we did it, we bladed it, we went in there, we piled the brush within that 20-foot buffer. We just made piles there where it was burnable, and then we reshaped the bar ditch, we reshaped everything, especially for bar ditches. When we wanted the drainage, we have that 20-foot buffer, we had it. I haven't checked again, Judge, but I haven't heard of it changing, so we do have a buffer there we can work on. My only issue on this one would be, I guess we would have to talk to the county attorney about, is it legal for us to go ahead and install the fence back on there, or would that be putting money into like privately owned land? That would be my only concern on that, is the installing of the fence. Removing the poles, we've done that all the time. The brush clearing on the side, we've done that over the years for safety issues. I've always gone in there and cleaned it out. I've always recommended that. The only thing I've never done is actually put the fence back, Judge. That's the only thing I worry about. But I mean, we talked to the county attorney, Commissioner, and I really don't know on that angle, because I've always told the landowner to replace their own fence afterwards. And we leave it real nice, clean, everything for them.
Okay, thank you.
Could we maybe put this off until Wes, you could talk to the landowner about the fence?
I'd be willing to do that, sure, absolutely.
Because Judge, if they're willing to put their own fence and they're in the past, but of course, things change. I'm not just laying on the past, but in the past, we have gone under for safety issues, for the convenience for the road, for the developing better drainage and all that. We do have that buffer to get onto private property.
And also, if we're going to, I think I heard Commissioner Geisler state that this road and the drainage is going to be redone in the future. You know, are we going in and doing double the work? You know, if we're going to be in there next year, you know,
Well, and
but I understand the
And that was-
safety aspect of it.
And that was a question I asked the road and bridges engineer. If, now look, I mean, not the same thing. If I don't want to go in here and clean this
Right.
out and do this, come back in and do it again
Right.
next week, because then that's going to create an issue. And his response was, no, this will actually benefit us because we'll go ahead and clean this out. We'll reshape it already on that curve because the water comes around that curve pretty forcefully and it's washing away now. And so by them going in there and reshaping some of that, it's going to allow the water to flow and put a little bit of drainage in there now. And so it would alleviate some of the issue and some of the water flow that's there now. So that was a very good question and one that I mentioned to him before. And I don't think it's going to be double the work, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So.
Judge, right?
Sure.
Okay. One other thing, Commissioner, that road's going to be worked on in about a year?
I don't know where it falls in the pecking order.
One other way that we used to do stuff like that, when we had corners that were real bad, we'd go in with a brush cutter and just brush cut all the front, get on top and reach in as far as we could and just mulch all the top of it and just drop it into their property. I don't know if that would help it or resolve it. I know what road you're talking about, but I haven't seen the condition of it lately in years on that 319, so.
That was a suggestion that was floated out there. There's some really large trees in there. But in order to really get in there, because that fence, and it's an older fence, there's not a lot of cattle running on, there's no cattle on there, it's a hay pasture. So the fence is older and it's brittle wire. It's buried in the brush. And so if they go in there and start getting too close, and in order to get it, because you're coming from an uphill approach to this curve, you still can't see over that fence line. It's, you have to pretty much take it all out.
You have to take it out to the
Yeah.
ground.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. I think that we're in agreement that Commissioner Geisler is going to go back and talk to the landowner about the fence.
Absolutely, yeah.
No action on item number 14 today. Item number 15 is to discuss/take possible action, discuss proposal by Atlas Gas Solutions to construct CNG facility on County Road 128 near Choke, Texas. Commissioner Geisler.
So also, I was approached about a week and a half ago from Atlas Gas and Nick here, and they wanted to come in and talk about County Road 128 and doing some upgrades to it for the potential plant they're going to have out there. So I'm going to step back and let Nick kind of explain what he's looking for and go from there.
Yeah, thank y'all for letting us come speak today. So off of 120, County Road 128 and Highway 239, we're looking at putting a compressed natural gas station in there that's going to be compressing the gas off of a interconnect that is from Enterprise that's right there on that road. So what we're looking at doing is kind of coming in, putting two compressors in, building up a pad, putting a detention pond in to make sure whatever we put as far as a pad up doesn't offset the water somewhere else, so we can drain that water into there. So that's the kind of the scope of work there is we'll be putting two compressors out there. They'll start out as gas compressors. And then as we get power out there, they'll go to electric compressors. So that will reduce the noise of the actual gas lift compressors. The facility will be up to code with the Texas Railroad Commission and all the rules that we have licensed through the Texas Railroad Commission. The one thing that we're looking at doing is we'll be hiring for this position locally. So we're going to be hiring 4 supervisor level, 4 operator level, and then 10 drivers. So that will be all stuff that's going to be local hires. We're trying to only find people that are out of this region, out of this, that live in the area. We're not looking to bring people in from out of town. We are a local company. Atlas has been working since 1985. We started out as 1 truck. We moved up. Now we have, I don't know, 200 and something trucks. We go from Michigan all the way to South Texas. We have a diesel station that's in Victoria. So we are kind of a local company. When we looked at building the compressor station, we have a lot of customers in the area, and we wanted to kind of make sure that we're local for our customers. This station will be servicing bulk natural gas for frac sites, drill sites, plants in the area that burn gas or they burn diesel normally or coal or something like that. We'll offset the diesel. So we're using the gas to offset diesel. It's in regulation with EPA and emissions to reduce the carbon footprint. So out there we'll have 10 trailers that are CNG trailers. We'll have 2 compressors that are going to be gas burn at the beginning, and they will be turned to electric. We'll have a little building for the operators and everybody to go into. Timeline for this would be that we'll start building the pad and the pipeline to it in late October. We'll then build the detention pond in the same time frame. And then we'll start delivering equipment out in mid-November is kind of what it's looking like now. The facility won't be online till late December. That's when the meter and everything will be put in on Enterprise's side. So with that, the one things that we're asking for is this road that is County Road 128 is a little bit narrow for truck traffic, and it's still a dirt road. It has a smaller bridge on there that's maybe a car and a half wide. And so we just ask that we improve that road, and we make it 2 lanes wide and enough for heavy, road traffic, right? For big trucks. These trailers are being pulled by they're 18-wheelers, so they'll be pulled. You're looking at probably maybe 10 trucks a day going through there. So not a lot of traffic, but enough traffic that I don't want to slide off of a bridge for safety of my drivers. So we're looking at bringing about $75,000 in annual revenue for taxes for the county. Obviously, that adjusts a little bit depending on how much we develop the land. So any questions?
So the ask today is you want us to go and widen and pave County Road 128 for a facility that y'all are going to be putting on somebody's personal property.
It's not going to be our property. We're buying the property.
Y'all are buying the property? Okay.
Yes, sir. We're purchasing 6 acres.
Are y'all looking at contributing money to pay for this road, or?
If we need to, we can. From my understanding that it was going to be a road that will be paved anyways. So we just wanted to kind of understand a timeline of what was going to be happening with that road.
I know Commissioner Rosales has had some experience in this with companies wanting to come in, and how you deal with them.
Yeah. Of course, this is in precinct 3.
4.
No, but in mine,
yes,
yeah,
yes.
what I'm going to explain, I've had companies come in and want the roads paved and all that. The way I look at a road is I don't know how many people live on that road, who else, if it's farming, if it's older people, if it's a school bus route, I look at all of that first. If it's just for a company and it's only gonna It's only gonna be good for that company. I usually just keep it a dirt road unless the company pays for the road itself. I go and have a meeting with them, I talk with them, and I tell them, we'll eventually probably pave it, but it's put toward the back burner at the end because it's not a high priority road, which is our elderly, our children, something like that. It may be a high traffic road, but if it's a high traffic road only for the oil field, in precinct 3, I don't volunteer to pave those roads until the end, but I don't know how many people.
So this particular road actually goes by the cemetery there in Choate. So it is something for the constituents out there that they would greatly appreciate because it would upgrade the cemetery, and it's a very nice cemetery. Beyond that, there are, I think, one for sure, is possibly two folks that live down at the end of this road. So there's not a whole bunch of traffic on this road. The road is very narrow. The road is, I mean, it's a typical country road that we all grew up on, so it's nothing special. The bridge is pretty narrow as well. So it is something that, from the safety concern on the bridge part of it, that could be something that could cause concern with big trucks going across. Having said that, I mean, when we met with Road and Bridge, the road obviously is on the list to get taken care of and addressed, and the issues with the drainage, because there is flooding out across that road, I guess right around where the bridge is at. And, but it's, as Commissioner Rosales pointed out, it's not something that is at the forefront. It is something that's going to be coming down. Now, there's some things that could be moved around, but it just depends. I mean, a lot of it just depends on how the court wants to proceed with that.
I'd like to see what Atlas is willing to contribute to make this happen sooner than later. Where we're not just, going and upgrading, and then the cemetery, the cemetery's right there on the road, so.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like the cemetery's way back there and folks are needing to drive down this county road to get to the cemetery. The cemetery's right on 239.
Right.
I drive that road 3 times a week, so, that's what I would like to see, is,
We'll put together a proposal. For
yeah,
it.
come together and see how much money Atlas can come up with, because it sounds like this is going to service Atlas and not really folks down the road.
Okay, yep. I guess I can get with you on how much it's gonna cost a roundabout and kind of figure out what it looks like.
Yes, sir, just reach out to me and we'll get in touch with Road and Bridge when he gets back on his feet, and we'll put something together.
Okay, great.
Jim? Jim is our 911 special projects. Good?
Yep, thank you.
All right, thank you. Item number 16 is our consent agenda. We've got reports from our JPs, all of them, 1, 2, 3, and 4. We have our Elections Department, Sheriff's Department, Constable Precinct 1 and 4, our Veteran Service Officer, and our DMV, Texas DMV. Also, there's budget amendments. Tom here? Budget Amendment 2024-17. Alma, what is that? Oh, okay, yeah, Fall City Library, that's correct. That is correct. And for those of you that are curious about that wonderful noise that we've got going on, I think that we've identified that it's something with the cameras. They're two, they spin whenever you hear that noise. If you look at the security cameras, they're spinning. They're coming, Jimmy's tomorrow. They're coming tomorrow to figure out what's going on. I love it when I have criminal court that I get to listen to this all day long. Monday, so.
I'll make the motion to approve the consent agenda. with
Second
The
it.
budget amendment, BA 2024-17.
I'll second it.
Okay, we've got a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. Anybody opposed? Motion carries. Item number 18, updates from our commissioners. I talked to Gretchen day before yesterday about Shelby, and she was in town, and so I got to visit with her for a while, and she said Shelby is making improvements, so that's a positive. Continue to keep him in your prayers. Commissioner Lissy, Precinct 2.
Well, last week, I attended a 2024 legislative conference, TAC put on, very informative. Got positive feedback on some grants that will be available. Made a lot of contacts. I spoke to our state representative, Ryan Yin, about him obtaining us a spot in the Capitol for a display when they go into session next time. So hopefully we can get some more grant money for our roads. And yesterday I had some calls from 4 residents on County Road 233. The gravel trucks were stacked up, speeding on it. I called Sheriff Villanueva. He sent a deputy out there and took care of that situation. And then I called our TxDOT engineer, and he routed the trucks another way so they wouldn't be going down that road. And just for transparency, I'd like to follow up on accusations that were brought up about that the budget hearing about the possible local meetings violation. Ms. Tapia, do you have any? Okay.
Mr. Shakame supplied some photos of the commissioners, some of the commissioners at like a lunch or breakfast, no idea what it is. That in and of itself is not anything, evidence of anything or any violations or anything like that without anything further. So I didn't see anything in that, so
Thank you.
you're fine.
That's about it for me.
Commissioner Rosales?
Judge, I don't have too much. The same sometimes goes on over and over, but I did answer the calls from the public, took care of whatever I needed to do. Had some meetings with the engineer, with our engineer. Road and Bridge is doing a great job on all the county roads in Precinct 3. Working on the same projects that we have been, the ones I've been talking about the last few meetings. Also had a couple of constituents meet with me in my conference room about some issues going on in the county. Spent a couple of hours with them, but that's about, and just everyday things of being a county commissioner also. That's all.
Commissioner Geisler?
So County Roads 311, 312, 313, they're all cement stabilized and the drainage is complete, so they're moving forward. 335 and 314, they're in various stages, but they are moving forward. 336 is near completion. I attended the 2024 Legislative Conference in Austin. That was very informative. There's a lot of good meetings there. There's going to be a lot of, I think, funding that we can go after as a county, which would be really good for us. Then also, I've got quite a few folks that are starting to call and appreciate the calls on the shredding and the brush growing. I mean, the rain's been wonderful and amazing. I know we've got the first round of spray, or the spray has gone out and knocked it back, but the Mother Nature is a little bit more powerful than that, and so just bear with us. The tractors are running, so we'll get to you.
Judge, may I say something else?
Sure.
Thank you, Judge. Next Commissioners Court meeting, what I'm going to have there on a shelf there is the duties of a county commissioner. They have changed some when we were in the precinct system, then we went into the unit system. Some of the duties changed a little bit from where we're not on equipment out there and everything, but we have an extensive amount of duties as county commissioners. So I will have there for the next Commissioners Court sheets there that has all the duties that county commissioners do 7 days a week. Thank you.
Item number 19, reports from our tax assessor, collector, our auditor, and treasurer. Tammy, you're up first.
Good morning again. This is the reports from the month of August. We have 1 month left in the year, in the fiscal year. So we're doing really good. On the current month to date, we've collected $28,561.70. The current year to date has been $21,707,969.08 for 98.11% collected. At this time last year, we had collected 98.91, so we are up 0.20% from what we were at this time last year. When I left the office this morning, it was 99.15. Again, it's the end of the year, so collections are down. The delinquent month to date was $2,319.06. The delinquent year to date was $74,317.87 for 11.49% collected. On the county INS, the month to date was, the delinquent month to date was $4.23. The delinquent year to date was $406.72 for 7.19% collected. For those in the public that don't really know what this is, the INS, back years ago, the county had debt. We don't have debt anymore, but we're still collecting on it, the ones that hadn't paid their taxes. So that's why there's nothing current on this one, it's just delinquent. On the road and bridge, for the month of August, the current month to date was $4,619.30. The current year to date was $3,502,033.34 with 99.11% collected. The delinquent month to date was $468.71. The delinquent year to date was $14,957.52 with 11.31% collected. On the county and the road and bridge, on that top 100 that I send all of y'all, as of today, everybody in the top 100 has paid us. So keeping an eye on that. Any questions?
Thank you, Tammy. Thank you. Alma.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Morning.
Okay. The monthly report for August is going to be ad valorem property taxes at $13,979,989 at 100.64 received. County sales tax, $5,856,560 at 88.74% received. Interest, $2,879,950 with 151.58 received. EMS receipts, $1,152,660 at $153.69 received. Tax office fees, $461,635 at $108.62 received. Revenues received totals to a 1.3.90 remaining. Expenses, 56.83% with 43.17 remaining, which is a target in 11 months of 91.67%. Non-court payments, GEO, $8,999,666.95. Payroll, $842,466.14. Payroll taxes, insurance, and retirement, $607,743.51. Utilities, $52,152.71. All others is $15,170.78. Investments, Texas class, $30,732,449.11. Texpol, $32,046,918.49. Multi-bank, $31,289,698.11. Total investment is $94,069,065.71.
Thank you, Alma. Thank you. Rita?
Balance as of July 2024, $97,179,690.51. Receipts for the month of August 2024, $28,393,291.09. Disbursements for the same time period, $30,251,494.50, for an ending balance as of August 31st, 2024, $95,321,487.10.
And a $68 million budget. Cutting it close.
Well, you got to remember, we're going to be collecting taxes come January 1, and
Item number 20, discuss/take action regarding the treasurer's report.
Make the motion to approve the treasurer's report.
I'll second it.
Okay, all those in favor signify by raising your right hand. Anybody opposed? Item number 21, discuss/acknowledgement of personnel changes. Get my back page here. No new hires. We did hire we had a resignation in the Runge Library, and we had a retirement. Lydia retired from the tax office after 17 years. We are currently hiring for Runge Assistant Library Clerk, Road and Bridge Equipment Operator 1, Road and Bridge Maintenance Tech 1. Karnes Wilson Juvenile Probation Department is looking for case managers and ropes facilitator. We're looking for Sheriff's Patrol deputies and Sheriff's Department courthouse security. So if you're interested, please apply, get with Bonnie. She can help you in the HR department, guide you through that hiring process. Item number 22, payment of bills.
We have a grand total of invoices to be paid today of $1,120,979.98.
You want me to ask you the questions, or you want me to wait for time? These will be questions for Tom, I guess. We've got Commissioner Giesler reimbursement out of the county auditors for conference expense.
Yes, that is for the trip that they went to Austin, and they drove together. Mr. Giesler drove, but it was three of them that went, which was Commissioner Lissy, Commissioner Giesler, and Tom. So we went three ways with the expense.
Oh, okay. That's why that one was there. We have Randall C. Stowers out of county maintenance for monitoring of the security system. It's $50, but should that be you, Jimmy? Nope.
Nope.
Okay. I guess that's for this? I don't know. I'll ask him. County Commissioners, then you have two reimbursements. I guess that's just a conference expense for Commissioner Geisler, that out of the commissioners.
Yes.
Jail security upgrades out of Road and Bridge. Is Renee in here? $141,664.89. New IP camera system in jail, first payment. But why do we have it out of 680 Road and Bridge?
That was coded by, I think that was coded by Renee. We can look into it if I have to, I'll do a journal entry.
We need to look at that.
Yes, sir.
I think that's all I have.
Just about done with that filing of the deal. They got a couple more things, finish up in a week.
Yeah, I'm gonna check on that. Yeah, I don't think that's coded right.
We can,
That's
I'll
a
look into
big
it.
one.
The 141?
The 141,000 out of 680.
I think Renee signed that invoice, so I'll look into it.
Make the motion for payment of the bills as presented, but looking into the 141,000, might be coded wrong.
I'll second it.
Okay, we've got a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. Anybody opposed? Motion carries. Item number 23, acknowledge Commissioners Court will meet on September 24th, 2024 at 9 o'clock in the morning here in our Karnes County Historic Courtroom at 101 North Santa Maria Avenue, Suite 200, Karnes City, Texas 78118. Item number 24, need a motion to adjourn and a second from Commissioner Precinct 3. Sure.
That invoice for the CML,
Uh-huh.
that is a fund coming out of 196, but because it's got that 512, the department. Remember we had discussed that already?
But it's still saying Road and Bridge. 680.
But the account number is 196, 680, 5711. It's just the way the GL account was set up.
Okay. We'll fix. Yeah. We'll get that fixed. Thank you all.
Might be on Zoom. Place Beth. I went to see him the other day and he was out of it. Then Wayne went over the weekend and he said he was great.
Mhm.